Hi guys and welcome back of DivByDiv Basics Monday. In this episode we are gonna create your first web page. Let's get started. Okay, today's video will be split in these three parts. First of all, I'm gonna introduce you to a new friend of yours that is gonna be the HTML language. Then we are gonna build your first web page using the editors that you like the most. And as a final thing, we are gonna compare your first web page with the first ever published website in the World Wide Web. Okay, let's introduce you to the HTML language. The HTML is the abbreviation for Hypertext Markup Language. In HTML, the elements are defined by tags. The tag has a start and an end. The basic tag in HTML is the HTML tag and is going to contain all the other elements of the page. The start tag is defined as a label text that is wrapped between arrow brackets. And the end of the tag is the same thing, but at the beginning there is like an arrow bracket and a slash. There are many tags that we will learn in the following lessons, but for today let's stop here and let's start to create your first web page. If you didn't decide which editor to use, to help you in the description below I wrote down a list of free editors that you can use. So let's pick one and then let's start to coding. Alright, so we can open our folder project in our text editor and create our first page. This page should be named index.html. An index.html is the first page that any user will see going to your website. For example, www.example.com. We render as a first page the index, that in this case is the index.html. The HTML extension is really important to make the browser understand what is the language used in that document. With this being said, we are gonna create our first index.html. So let's create index.html. Let's save it. And now we are gonna create our first tag. As before I said, the first tag that we are gonna need is the HTML tag. And as I said before, this one is gonna be written between arrow brackets. Okay, HTML. As you see, we have like the start of the tag and the end of the tag. Everything that is inside the HTML is part of the page that we're gonna build. And there are like two main blocks in the HTML page. One is the head and one is the body. So the head and the body are defined by other tags. The tags head and the tags body. Okay. Now what you should know is that inside the head there are certain tags that you can use, and inside the body certain other tags that you can use. For today we are gonna use one tag in the head and one tag in the body. In the head we wanna use the title tag. The title tag is the text that is gonna be displayed in your browser tab. We are gonna see the result in a little bit. Okay, let's create the title tag. And we want to display the title. This title can be my first website, you know. So let's go write my first website and save. Now we can see already the result of this in the browser. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, as I mentioned before, the title will appear here in the browser tab. My first website. Perfect. Let's go ahead and let's create some content inside the body instead. Okay, in the body we can just write plain text, but usually the text is gonna be constrained in certain tags. Now we're gonna use only one of the many tags that you can use, that is gonna be the H1. H1 is a headline tag and is the one that has a bigger size as default. Let's use it. Let's create the H1 tag, and inside we are gonna say hello DivByDiv. Hello DivByDiv, and let's save. Now we can see in our browser the result of it. Wow, that's it. Now we've wrote some text inside the web page and it's gonna be displayed in our page. One question that you should have right now is like, okay, but we are seeing the DivByDiv text, but we don't see all the tags that we wrote until now. Why? Well, as I said before, the HTML is gonna be interpreted by the browser, so the browser is not gonna show you the tags, but it's gonna show you only the result of them. And in particular, the browser is gonna render in page only the contents that are being written inside the body tag. In this case, we just add the one element that was the h1 tag with the hello DivByDiv text. Okay, you have built your first web page. Congratulations! Now, as a last thing, as promised, I'm gonna show you and we are gonna compare the first web page that you have created right now with the first website that is ever been published on the web. Here the comparison, in your left we have the page that we just built, and in your right you have the first website that is being published. As you see, they are really similar, isn't it? Well, today has been a lot of fun and I'm looking forward to teach you more and more about web development. This was just a small tip of the iceberg. So subscribe for new contents like this one, and happy coding!